And thank you for joining me. With Mother's Day right around the corner, I thought now would be a good time to pour a Mother's Day gift. Now, what I want to do today is this is the Let's Resin Octagon Coaster mold, and it's part of the deeper geometrical mold sets. And the octagon, just one octagon, it'll hold 7.4 ounces. It is 2 inches by 7.3 inches by 4.4 inches. What I want to do for this, though, is I actually want to pour it in 4 different pours. So the first pour, I want to use white mica and then add a generous amount of glitter. This is the crystal diamond glitter. And I just love the way this stuff looks. And then once it's cured I want it soft. I don't want it completely cured, but I do not want it sticky. Once it's soft, I'll come back in with the second layer, and that'll just be clear resin. And once that clear resin, that second layer is soft, I want to come back in, and on the third pour, I actually want to put this in the center of the octagon. And I just made these using the black UV resin, and then this is the glow in the dark fuchsia. I do want to put that in the center. Let me set that down. And then once the third layer is cured enough, I want to come back in. It's got to be cured enough that I can stick these little stickers on. These are pretty stickers, and I just want to do a border with the stickers and then come back in and dome it. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to go ahead and get some resin mixed up, and I'll see you in just a minute. I have the resin mixed, and I have it in this, it's a disposable cup. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I do tend to use these for when I'm adding color, but I reuse them over and over again until I can't use them anymore. So I have a whole stack of different cups that I've used for different colors. So I will reuse these though until I can't anymore. The reason I decided to mix this in a disposable cup is because I am finding that glitter gets everywhere. And when I try to clean the glitter off of my normal mixing cups, I just can't seem to get it all off. And then I will find a piece of glitter in the next project I'm working on. So that's why I chose to go ahead and use the paper cup for that. And I do use paper cups. I know I made sure I purchased some that was for hot drink because I don't want wax or anything getting into my projects. Let's go ahead and get this poured. Then I think I did like 3. Let me get this little spoon. This is my little spoon. 3 little heaping spoons of the mica and probably about 6 of the glitter because I do want it glittery. So let me go ahead and pour this down my stick. And I want to get all of it in there and go around the edges for bubbles. And let me get every last drop out because every little bit counts. And with the glitter, and the mica looks almost like, because this mica was a part of a kit when I first started buying kits for resin, when I just started, and there's no label on it, but it looks like it may be like a mother of pearl. And another reason I like to mix colors in the disposable cups is sometimes I get a case of the lazy and they're easy to clean because all you do is set them aside and just let them cure. Even though, it's usually just a fine little bitty film in there that cures. But over time, it gets thick. So let me set that down. Clean off my stick, and then I want to use my tool to go around the edges, because that is certainly where the bubbles like to hang out, and I really don't want any bubble pits. And I see a lot of bubbles still popping in the center. All right, well, what I am going to do is I am going to check for bubbles, of course, and I'll probably go around the edges one more time here in about 10 to 15 minutes. I am going to let this cure, I'm going to say between 3 and 4 hours. I want it to be soft, or at least soft enough or thick enough that I can pour a layer of clear. Now the next layer, the layer, because it is just going to be clear, I'll pour that off camera, and then I will meet you back here when I'm getting ready to do the third pour, and that's where I'll put the MOM in, the little M, heart M. So I will see you then. I poured, I mean, it's just a very thin layer. It was 40 milliliters of the clear, and that has cured enough that I can go ahead and do another pour, and then I will put the little M heart M in. So let me go ahead and get this resin poured down my stick. And that should leave plenty of room for doming, if I did my measurements correctly. Okay, let me get all of this out of here. And one of the reasons I have the little lines on the cup is that was to measure the part A and the part B. I mixed a total of 60 milliliters. So let me go ahead and go around the edges. And this is just with the soft side of the dotting tool. And I'm trying to be careful not to go too deep, because I don't want to scrape up that layer right below this one. I see a lot of bubbles on the surface, so let me give it a spray and let it set for a second. Did I get that on there? Yeah. And then I'll try to center this MOM. And I'm thinking I want this one first. One of my little M's is a little bit bigger than the other one. So let's see if I can carefully place these in there. And then after I get them placed in, then I'm going to use my fingers for this. After I get them placed in, then I will move them around to where I think I want them and give them tap. Ooh, there. It's in there. Give them some taps for bubbles. But I want to try really hard to get it centered. Let me use the other side. I may have to move them a little bit here and there. We'll just wait and see. Let me get them tapped down. I think it needs to go over that way just a tad. And I want to tap real well. I already see some bubbles coming out from underneath this first little M. All right, let me look and see if I think that's centered. I want to kind of make sure it's even. No, this M's a little bit bigger than the other one. And I mean, I could have used stickers, letter stickers, but I kind of, if my mom were still here, I think she would appreciate me using my own handwriting. So that's why I did it, even though it's a bit of a challenge to make letters with UV. Okay. I want to kind of make sure that looks centered. And I still want to have plenty of room on either side so that when I come back in, I can put the stickers on there. So that looks even to me. I just want to make sure that when I'm ready, I have plenty of room to come back in with the stickers without it overlapping the letters. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I will definitely watch these because I don't want them swimming away. I don't think they're going to, but I'll still watch them and definitely check for bubbles because we still have some coming up here. And I'm going to let this cure until it is cured enough that I can safely put these little stickers on. So it may be several hours, but I will see you when we're ready to do that. See you shortly. I think I think we're ready to put the stickers on now. I mean, I can touch it. It's cured enough that I can touch it. I'm just going to have to be very careful to try to get these. I think I want 4 on each straight edge. I just need to try to get them centered and straight, and that may be a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, it may be. Let me grab my tool here and see if I can get that back up without hurting my piece. Oh, oh, nope. It's just going to stay there. I do not want to hurt my piece. And yeah, they're not straight, are they? I don't want to loosen my piece either. See if I can get that back up and scoot it up just a little bit. Same with this, and hopefully not just totally destroy my piece. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. I just have to go real slow. And even then, it probably won't be perfect. Yeah, they're a little bit crooked. I don't know if you can tell that on camera or not, but that's okay. I still want to go around the whole edge of it with the stickers. So shall we get on with it? Down to our last 4. And yeah, they are not perfect. Oops, that one doesn't want to come off the paper. Oh boy, okay, well, let me see if I can't. Oh, I don't want to mess this thing up too badly. I kind of need to move that over some so that they all will fit. Let's see if I can fit that in there now. Nope. Let me move this. Oh, y'all, I do not want to mess this piece up. Pick this back up. Try to pick it back up. All right, let me see if I can scooch this over here like that. And this one like that. Little snug there. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn this around. I don't know that you can see it, but right here where I pulled that heart up, it left a little mark. I'm hoping, I'm just pushing my luck here. Let me scoot that up just a little bit. I'm hoping when I pour the resin that it'll cover like those little marks. Yeah, those are really close together. But let me get my gloves on and we'll get the resin poured. Let's see if I can get that out of the glare from the light. So let me go ahead and get my gloves on and we will get, I did mix up 60 milliliters. Ideally, that'll be enough to dome it. I guess I'll find out. And now I'm hoping that these hearts that I pulled up, that they stay down and they don't swim around. The ones that I pulled up and put back down. So let's go ahead and get the resin poured down the stick. And I'm going to pour a little bit and stop. I mean, I think it'll hold all of it. I may even have to mix more. I just never know. Yeah, it's going to hold some more, that's for sure. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to mix more. I say that every time, and then there are times that I don't have to, and times that I do. I'll just put it all in there. And see what I think. And if I do have to mix a little bit more to dome it, I'm going to wait for this to cure some first, simply because I don't want to mess anything up. All right, I think I've got every little drop out of there. Let me set that down. And yeah, it does have a little more room. Maybe I should have mixed 80, but I didn't. Let me give it a spray with some alcohol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cure for a couple of hours. I just want to kind of babysit these little stickers and make sure they don't float up. So I'm going to let it cure for a couple of hours. Go ahead and dome it. And then I will meet you back here for the unmolding. See you shortly. It is time for the unmolding. And I'm sure you noticed that it looks a little bit different than it did the last time before that last pour. Now on this little heart over here, let me go ahead and unmold it first. I love these molds. They're easy to unmold. And if you're interested in like this mold set or some of the other products I use, I will put a link in the description box below. But let me see if I can put that up a little bit closer. So what I did is when I was fighting with this little heart, because it kept floating up, I decided it looked kind of boring. So the resin was still wet, and I went in and put some little flowers in here. And these are flowers that I picked out in the yard. Oh, it's spring now, but it was last summer. I picked them out in the yard, I pressed them, and then I treated them to put into resin projects. And I did that in the how to prepare flowers and foliage for resin projects. I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. I do have to do a little bit of trimming. Anyhow, I put the flowers in. I let that cure until it was pretty good and hard. It wasn't completely cured, but pretty good and cured because of this heart that I kept fighting with. And then after that, I put these 2 little butterfly stickers on it, and then I domed it. So that's what I ended up with, and I am glad that I put the flowers and the butterflies, and I have a kitty cat here wanting some attention. I am glad that I did that because it gives an even more 3D effect, and it's not quite as boring and plain as it was. And those are the sides. I always like to look at the sides, but as you can see right there, that one heart is the one that just kept giving me fits. And then the back, and the back is real sparkly because that glitter is heavy. It fell on the back. But overall, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Let me know what you think of the final project in the in the comments below. Also, please consider hitting the like and share buttons. And I want to thank those people who have subscribed. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you again for watching. And I do hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And I will see you next time.